Hello, I'm Harry Hobson, President and CEO of Plymouth Harbor.
And I'm Karen Novak, the Administrator for Strategic Healthcare here at Plymouth Harbor as well.
Karen, today we want to provide an update to our residents, team members, and families. What I'd like to do is cover our campus update regarding COVID, and then let's move on to the vaccination process, talk a little bit about how that's gone so far, and then equally important, as we leave phase one, I'll call it, and getting ready now for phase two. So before we get there, let's go ahead. If you could give us a campus update.
It's my pleasure. We have 4 of our team members that are positive. 2 of them are symptomatic, but we are monitoring them at home and getting daily reports on their well-being. We also have 2 residents that are both symptomatic at this time. We have 9 of our teammates that are actually in observation at home. And again, we are monitoring them closely for any signs of COVID, and they've been retested, and we are awaiting the results for that. But we're really looking forward to having them back on board.
Karen, going back to the residents for just a moment, I believe we've got one resident in our COVID unit, and our other resident is still at Sarasota Memorial.
That is correct. Actually, he is currently at Sarasota Memorial and being monitored by physicians and nursing staff, and his family is there with him.
Okay, I know as always, we'll be monitoring him very closely as well and wishing for his well-being. If we move to the vaccination process, Karen, I know you feel the same way. I could not be more pleased in what we've experienced over the past 10 or 11 days, beginning with that Saturday where we all came together as a community with our residents and went through the consent process. It was flawless. And again, I've stated before, so much cooperation by the residents. We held our breath and we moved then into round one, I'll call it, of phase one, and that's the vaccinations themselves. And I know we started that on December 30th. We made a great deal of progress. I couldn't be more pleased with our team member, the preparation, our excellent partners with CVS, and again, the cooperation of the residents. And then we went into round 2 of phase 1, and that was just a couple of days ago on January 4th. So I'm pleased, and share some of your observation, because you and Julia and Eddie, the district manager, if you will, from CVS, that they were utmost professionalism and worked so well with you and the team.
The CVS team, I cannot give them enough accolades. They were superb. They were efficient, professional, kind, caring, and really dedicated to making sure that each resident and each team member that came there and sat down was comforted and really understood the process of what was going to happen to them. But I tell you, I think one of the most incredible moments for me was watching that very first resident receive his vaccine. I almost felt silly because there were tears coming down from my face, and I just was so emotional and so happy because it's the beginning for the end. We finally have a way to truly address COVID. And it was just one of the most incredible moments that I really had during those 2 days of watching, that efficient team, both our team and CVS team, really apply that science or that technology to our residents and to our staff. So it was an incredible experience. And I'm looking forward to that booster here in a couple of weeks.
I think you know where I'm going to go with this. I witnessed so much and on those 2 or 3 days, but probably one of my top memories really relates to one of our housekeepers here at Plymouth Harbor. Has been here a long time. I've known her for a long time, and she came over with some trepidation. Really wasn't sure if she wanted to get the vaccine or not, kind of wanted to look around. And so I approached her, and I know her well. And I won't forget, she had tears in her eyes, and she's saying, Mr. Hobson, I have never had a needle in my life, never had a vaccine or any kind of a shot. And she was scared to death. And I said, look, I said, why don't you come with me? And then we're going to go in together. And she agreed to it. And our lead pharmacist really performed it. And it was so heartwarming as we sat there and I held her hand and she just closed her eyes. And then we said, it's over. She said, I didn't feel it. It's over. You've received your first vaccination, and the joy on her face and her family was wonderful. That was one of my highlights for sure.
I think a number of our residents who really appreciated, CVS coming and doing their role in protecting our residents here. So again, I cannot speak enough for the CVS team that came. And luckily, they're going to be coming back the next 2 visits. We have that same team. I think it has a lot to do with the food. They really like the food here.
Well, from what I hear, it has a lot to do with you. That same team wanted to come back here and work alongside Karen. I can assure you of that. Also, I guess I'm pleased to report, and these are pretty accurate. While they're still estimates, they're pretty accurate. I'm pleased to report that over 95%, maybe even over 98% of our residents have now received the first vaccine, and we are now at 41% of our team members. Now, while that's a much lower number, it's a number that's really tracking on a local and national basis. I know one of our local hospitals is reporting right at 40% as well. I think we're going to increase that number. I think the success to increasing that number significantly is going to be education. So we're committed to that over the next 10 days to 2 weeks as we get ready for phase 2, where we'll be giving them one more opportunity to receive the vaccination here at Plymouth Harbor. So I'm confident we can get that number up, but it's going to take, it's a matter of education.
Right. And we've got some incredible people on an education team that are kind of formulating a plan, producing some literature to distribute to our staff and really help them understand the specifics about the vaccine and not necessarily those myths that are out there like on YouTube or Facebook or some of those other social medias that really don't have a lot of validity to it. So I'm excited to see some of the educational material that they're going to be putting out.
Karen, to my knowledge, we've had no reports of any side effects or adverse conditions.
It's been 100% accepted without any difficulties. Few sore arms, but that's to be expected. But other than that, nah, no negatives.
And you're right. It's kind of interesting. In our household, I received the vaccine back on the 30th and really had nothing. And my wife Nancy received it as well, and she had just a little bit of pain just for really just a couple of hours in her shoulder, but that was really it. So, and a load off of our shoulders, I can assure you.
Yes, I think we all grew a couple of inches, that the weight was taken off of our shoulders.
I've heard that over and over again. We're bringing conclusion now to phase 1, and we're ready to move into phase 2, which includes not only the booster vaccine, but we are going to circle back for anyone that did not receive that original vaccine and now wish to do that. Can you talk a little bit about the specifics of those dates and how that's going to go?
On January 20th, that's when we will do our round 1 of phase 2 with our booster shots. Those that receive their initial vaccine on the 30th will get their booster shot. And then 2 weeks after that booster shot, they're going to have that 95% immunity. Also, on the 20th, we have an opportunity for those of you that missed getting the vaccine. You can get your vaccine, the very first dose of it, on the 20th. Whether you're a team member or a resident that maybe was out of town or had an appointment of some sort, please come and get that vaccine. It is so important and so vital to the well-being of all of us here at Plymouth Harbor. So again, on the 20th, it will actually be a booster shot for those that had the initial vaccine on the 30th, as well as an initial vaccine for those that did not get any vaccine. And then on the 25th of January, that's going to be phase two, phase two, part B. For those that got the vaccine, the second round, they're going to get a booster shot. So we have two days that we'll be giving boosters. One will be on the 20th and one will be on the 25th. Those again are your booster shot days. With that booster, it will put you up at the 95% immunity rate. Also on the 20th, repeating, for anybody that has not had a vaccine, that is your day to come and get vaccinated initially. And then in February, a little bit later on, you'll be getting that booster shot. But stay tuned.
And we're gonna follow suit, with the state, with the government, and that is that we're going to give that one last opportunity for our team members, those that have not received it, wishing to receive it. They'll have that opportunity on the 20th, and then we're going to move on at that point. So I just so hope more team members will sign up for that. So.
Absolutely. Harry, those lines at the Department of Health, even just trying to get an appointment to get a vaccine, are just horrific. But here at Plymouth Harbor, all you need to do is sign a consent and show up in the dining room, and we'll take care of you.
That's right. So the key dates to remember for myself, I was vaccinated on December 30th, so I will receive my booster on the 20th. And some other folks were vaccinated on January 4th, earlier this week, and then they'll receive their booster on the 25th.
Correct.
Okay.
We're looking forward to it.
Oh, I tell you, it's a historic time here at Plymouth Harbor, and I couldn't be more pleased. And I know Karen, I speak for both of us when I just thank the team members for their hard work, but particularly the residents and their cooperation in really making this whole process as smooth as it's been. Let's make it happen one more time, and with that whole second phase, and we're going to be in real good shape. So
absolutely, together we're going to make Plymouth Harbor the place to be and safe.
Absolutely. Well, Karen, do you have anything else before you tell us what to do social distancing, which isn't going to go away?
No, I'm afraid we're going to be with that for a little while. We want to remind you to keep that social distance at all time, that 6-foot perimeter around you. It's okay to tell people to back up every now and then. Remember to wash your hands quite frequently during the day and hit those high contact areas with an antibacterial wipe. But most importantly, when it's so simple, a mask. Please remember, anytime you leave your apartment here on the property, remember to don your mask. It is the way that we're going to save us all until we get that herd immunity. So again, please remember, wear your mask.
Karen, thank you so much again, as always. And I think that pretty much brings conclusion to this video. So it's time to don our masks.